So lots of excitement. Thank you, Marianne, for taking a whack at the artist statement. And I have some thoughts, but
Thank you.
basically, you really, you're pulling it together. Betty put up her own website finally, so I'm happy to
Oh,
see
Well,
that.
it's only partially
I
done.
know, but still, you got it up there, and
yeah.
huge accomplishment. I know that it's hard, and so
Are you
it's
going to
great.
share it with us?
Yeah, you
Yes, I
can.
think we should look at it. Yeah, I think we should do some individual chat today, definitely, so that we can go into depth. All right. Well, I'm hoping Laura will show up. I just saw her today, so I'm thinking she will. Um, let's see. Any questions about last time? And we last time we focused on talking to each one of you about kind of where you see yourself and kind of what directions you might really want to push. And Marianne, it sounds to me like you are sort of you're heading toward sculpture, but you're also heading toward public art.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like to use the word sculptor. And that's why I kind of didn't, I put it in parentheses with a question
Yeah.
mark because I just feel like every time I use it, there's a certain expectation about what that means. And although I think I create things that are sometimes sculptural, I think if I were to go and study sculpture for 3 years, it would be a very different thing than
Yeah.
what I'm imagining. I think I realized today, I said to my husband that, you know, I've always struggled with, this artist architect thing. And then I said to him today, I just realized that the part that I'm good at in architecture, which is the front end brainstorming thing, that's what I get hired to do mostly, is the art part. And in fact, they're the same skill
Mm,
sets. It's the same thing. I am
yeah.
the artist in the architecture team. It's just that I'm making buildings. And so suddenly that was a real relief because I thought, oh, they're not two different things. They're just the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not giving up what I do architecturally to do this placemaking thing, which is more what it is. In fact, the company that you showed us last week, I thought I should just go get a job with them. I would be so happy. I was just like, it's really placemaking, and
Yeah.
inevitably you have to design objects to put in the place.
Yeah.
And
Or
those
hire
objects are
somebody.
very sculptural.
Right.
And
Yes.
and so I guess we call it placemaking, but I don't want to call it placemaking because the people who are doing placemaking are more planners. And I don't want to do that. I really do want to design the objects. Um, so
Yeah. So, have you ever looked at the Cambridge art, the city of Cambridge public art? You have. Yeah.
I have actually. In fact, I went to a lecture. The guy who runs that gave a lecture, and I went to it, and it did really resonate. They have an amazing program,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Yeah.
so
Because
I
I was
think
just
now that you're helping me get my materials more organized, and you've given me just some confidence that I'm ready, that I could feel more comfortable reaching out to them. I just kind of, I tried. I think I even did try with him, but all I have is this architecture website. So I think people don't get it. I think they just are thinking, "Oh, you're an architect that wishes she was a sculptor." You know, but that's not really the case. I think you've seen I have work and I have a lot more than what I even showed you
oh,
actually.
good. That's
So
great.
so yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Yes.
so
Will you
I
do a separate website?
well, I think that's what we're
Yeah.
deciding to do. And it's funny over the years. I've asked many people that very question. Some people I paid to ask that question, and everyone has a different point of view. Some people like, no, merge them, and other people like, no, separate them. But right now, at this age, I'm feeling strongly that I need to separate it. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you do. And yeah, because places like Cambridge Art are exactly the sorts of places that will hire you. Like that's who you want because they'll have these opportunities. We have the corner of blah blah blah, and we need some to well, I don't have to tell you. But yeah, so what you would want to do is send them either to, make sure that you get apprised of their artist calls, but also to be on their in their image registry.
Ah, okay.
Let's just look
Right.
at that website really quickly. Betty, this is also, applicable to anybody. I mean, the thing is that, you don't have to be a public artist to have work be
In
considered for
public,
public
yeah,
art,
right.
and they have money because they have a 1% for art program there,
That's nice.
and it's the only place in around Boston that does, I think. I mean, Boston doesn't even have 1% for art. Um,
Wow.
so they actually can afford to pay for it. And look at this, explore more 280 pieces of public art, So this is really what you want. And the resources, uh, are also great. And, they'll send you when they're looking for various things. And you can also go right to their calls. So where was it? I was on it today. But anyway, this is really perfect for, you know, Marianne to like just get
Nice.
in their face and let them know that you're around,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because I think you're helping me with the language and exactly what you said you would do, like where we fit in, because like for instance, painters talk about why they paint, but I don't use one material. To me, the material is whatever it needs to be to answer the problem.
and you're
So I
not
can't
alone.
talk about like a material in my artist statement,
Yeah.
because so I
Yeah.
think this is, yeah.
No, exactly. So here's, for example, here you go. Current calls for public art. Design murals for Cambridge's new community path. I think that was done. But this is, they're always doing stuff.
Mm.
And they have information sessions. I mean, they really do try to be very, this is really old, 2023. Anyway, they do put stuff up and to follow them. So yes, I mean, you are not alone. The other place that we should talk about really quickly here, because I think it's another thing that's perfect for you, is Coda. Do you know about Coda Works?
No.
Okay, I just learned about this too, because I mean, I dabble in public art as well.
Right.
But I mean, I was big on getting Arlington its own public art program. So 10, 12 years ago, I was like Ms. Public Art in Arlington. Now we finally have, a place, but we've got a real program going. But these guys, this is exactly where you want to post and you want to be looking at their open calls. Because look at this. And you don't have to
Wow.
join it to see all the open calls. I don't know, maybe you have to sign up, but so they have come on, open up here. Anyway, so Marianne, you'll go here yourself, but get
Yeah.
hired, put your stuff out there. They have a summit where they, they bring people in to talk about, public art, various things. So it's
Where
right up your
where
alley.
is where are they? What is their
It's
are they?
I'm sorry, why can't we get rid of this thing? Membership. I actually am a member here. I am blah blah blah.
Wow.
Never.
The
It doesn't
whole
matter.
public art industry.
Is it only public art?
Yeah. Yeah, these are all opportunities for people who need a public artist to do something or are a public artist and looking for projects.
That's great.
And is this national? This is a
Yeah.
national organization?
Yeah, let me see if they'll let me get in now. Anyway,
Where's their summit? Have you ever been? Is it like
I've not gone, but I do know people who have gone. But these calls are all over the country.
Mhm.
It is
wow.
really fabulous. Why would they? All right. Oh, here we go. Okay. So for example, they give you
If
the
you hit this
budget.
little X down at the bottom here, see
Oh,
this little
thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
there
I'm
you
so sorry. It's called,
That's okay. They bury them and they're often invisible. So,
yeah. This is called being online and being, sort of, yeah. So anyway, this is the kind of thing that you will love.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Here you
Um,
are. These are your people.
Public art for geothermal building. How cool
Ooh.
is
I know.
that?
This is really fabulous. And not only that, but I don't know how much you want your your firm, Marianne, to be involved, but it seems to me that a lot of these places do work with like groups, that are already doing public art too. So
I don't understand what you mean.
they're like, not just one person, but a whole,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
group that does
It,
public art.
it is like a team. Yeah.
Like your team. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so that's definitely, something.
Oh,
And I think, you're not alone, and you just need to find your people, Marianne.
yeah. No, that's why I joined
You're like,
you.
you're
Um,
like, yeah,
you know, do you ever hang with the people who are doing the Triennale in Boston? You know, the public art
I
people?
do. I mean, I know of that group now and there. I knew of the woman who started that, and I have met her, and I know some of the artists who have worked there, but I don't hang with them.
Mhm.
So, but they'd be a
Right.
good group of people to get to know for sure.
Yeah.
I personally always feel like I'm not who they're looking for. Um, and they are really, really looking for diversity in a big way, and that's
Oh,
great.
yeah.
So I just feel like I'm not quite, who they're looking for. And
I actually feel that way a lot too, right? Because I'm like a 61-year-old white woman who actually has a professional career, so I'm clearly not like needing the money. And
Mhm.
I often find that I don't qualify sometimes. Like even our local arts foundation, I have, you know, I participate a lot in things there and volunteer a lot of my time. But when I apply, I never get anything because they're like, Mariam, we know you don't need it. It's like, yeah, but I need the group. Like I need the people. I have even told them, don't give me the money. Just accept me to the cohort, please. I'll give the money to somebody else, but because I have a job, like it's not that I'm rich, I just have a job, right? So it's an interesting little between place to be, right?
absolutely, yes,
Yeah.
let's talk about this elephant in the room. It is very hard to be more normal. I don't know what normal is, but more the majority than the minority these days,
Yeah.
especially in the arts, which happens to be on the progressive spectrum. Progressive, the arts is so far over to the left, that it's like
Yeah.
you have to watch what you say. I mean,
Yeah.
so even Mass Cultural Council, Marianne, I have you ever applied to
I
their
have no,
annual?
I have applied numerous times as representing nonprofits, yeah, as an architect, but I never as an artist, no.
Okay, so
Actually,
the
but
artist,
the MCC money, our Mid-Cape Cultural Council gets their money from the Mass Cultural Council, and they all those sculptures I showed you that are in Hyannis got paid for by them.
well, that's great. That's great. But if
Yeah.
you try to get money as an individual artist within, before this, it used to be very different. Before the last two or three, uh, they award money every year. They award a certain amount of money. And it used to be that they would rotate between like painting, sculpture, choreography, music, blah, blah, blah. And the next year would
Mhm.
be, crafts, public art, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they go back and forth. And it was juried by, five or six people who you would think would, be qualified as arts professionals. And it was pretty prestigious. Anyway, I never got one, but meanwhile, then they switched it a couple years ago because of DII to being mostly, you get points for the things that you check off the box, like if you're any kind of a minority in any kind of way.
Yeah. Right.
And then the more points you get in terms of that, then the art is looked at, but it is not, I'm not getting a big sense that it's really a huge criteria. For the quality of the art
Mhm.
is kind of like the last thing. It also has to do with your community. Anyway, I don't want to take time from our larger conversation, but we are up against, I mean, we are all going to have to think about how we fit in or don't fit in. right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
And
thinking about that in terms of my statement when I was looking at examples of other people. A lot of their statements are about how their work comes from needing to express a feeling of being alienated or being on the periphery or, and I think because of that, I think that's also why I felt slightly unqualified because I just felt like I didn't have that sort of reason to be, right? Like what is that? My work is very much problem solving work, right? It's like there's a place and we need to
right,
establish a place.
right.
And
And so,
which
so
I
I,
think has a huge amount of value. I mean, I don't want to talk too much, but they're like
no,
in
no, it's
Hyannis,
fine.
like everywhere else, they're needing to make sure, and this is a great thing, right? That we're expanding representation beyond white sea captains. So there was this
Absolutely.
mural that they proposed, and it was actually denied by the town, which was horrible. But I called them and I said, the mural people, and I said, look, I think the problem partly was your presentation. It really lacked, I think, and I've had everything approved by this committee. I said, so I will donate my time to work with the young artist just to make sure the presentation sings. And I think you'll get approved, frankly, without changing anything.
Mhm.
And they said, we don't think the artist will want to work with you
Why? Because
because I'm
you're not
me.
black or you're not.
Yeah, because I wouldn't understand her point of view, and I would sort of maybe taint her vision by offering to translate into just a presentation. I was like, I said, when you do a mural, you can't just do a big painting. A mural is about establishing space from, a long distance and then what it means when it changes. It's a narrative, it's a motion narrative. It's not
Yeah.
just a big painting on a wall. I
Right.
said, so could we just talk a little bit about that? And I think that it would totally change. But they said no. They
Yeah.
said they didn't want me to help her. So it's
Yeah.
interesting.
It
Yeah.
is it's very interesting times. And yeah, so, I think all of us need to really think about our community, who can help us, who we can help, and who is, and where the kind of work that we make fits, so that you're not trying to fit someplace where it's not going to be appreciated. What you're
Mhm.
doing, Marianne, definitely has places where it's going to fit. And there are places where, like, there are definitely places where it's going to be much more appropriate to have community members do the mural. There are going to be other places where, a corporate area, or another, a group that wants more business in an area or whatever,
Mhm.
will say, yeah, we want something else, and we're up into, a different kind of look. So I just think, hold on one quick second. Hey, Al, do you mind going down? Never mind. Issues of when you work at home, you don't leave anything in the oven.
Ah,
And be on the Zoom. It's all set. We're all good. Okay. So yeah, that's what I think, Marianne. And so those are the kinds of places I think you need to explore.
yeah.
Um, go see, go talk to, I think Cambridge folks will be very open to a conversation with you. I do.
Yeah, I'm
And
I'm excited. I feel like I know a little bit. The path is more clear now since we started talking.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. And also I wanted to tell everybody about this opportunity. I don't know if you know about this, Marianne, or Betty, but this is something that is coming up, which is portfolio reviews at Cambridge Art
oh.
Association. And this is something, I mean, it's not cheap, but you get a chance to talk to some arts professionals in the area, speaking about, people like, um, art consultants. These two
Mm.
women both work at Boston Art, which is the biggest art consultancy, as far as I know, in Boston. This is perfect for Nikki. So this is a way to go and see, and well, actually, these are all online. You don't have to go anywhere. They're all
Oh.
online. So, what you would do is prepare a, a bunch of your work and get their sense of, is this something that they would be interested in showing? Um, Marianne, I was thinking about, you talking to, uh, you have to just see if there's somebody here. Like,
Yeah.
it's not, I mean, this is like, it's very hard to get in touch with some of these people. Like they make it
Yeah.
really hard on the website to find. At the ICA, they don't even list curator contact. You have to figure out how to find it. Um, it's not that hard, but I mean, you have to go do it. You have to be going to looking at it. But you know, there might be people here that you think, now here's somebody you should go talk to,
I
Marianne.
actually met her. So I met her. I was on a panel with her. She
Fabulous.
came to Hyannis and we were on a panel about public art on the Cape together.
Perfect.
We met. I followed up with an email to her and I never heard back from her.
Well, don't take no. Don't take that as
Yeah.
a no. Go,
Yeah.
so I mean, you may just you don't have to go through this, but if there were somebody on here, I would just go contact her. And again,
Yeah.
I would go take her out to coffee or something like that. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
don't
So
give
how does
up.
this work? You say it's expensive. What do you sign
All
up
right. So
and
this whole thing, and the reason I know about it is I've done it a couple times. They've been doing these for like, I don't know, many, many, many years. So you sign up. It's expensive, not cheap. I
It's
think.
it's $75. It's not that bad.
Well, I mean, that's good. I'm glad you don't think so. I mean, it's gone up over the years, but $75 gives you one 30-minute session with, the person of your choice if you get there early enough and you make sure that you get on to that person's listing. Or you're non-member, it's a bit more. $90 per session or 70 per session for 3 or more 30-minute sessions. So
but you're not guaranteed the people you meet with. You said you have to wait in line to see. I mean, this
uh,
is virtual, right? So did you say it was virtual?
it is virtual. It is virtual. So yeah, if you're interested, yeah. I've submitted my registration. You will receive an automated email. Your schedule with meeting times will be emailed to you. All right.
Okay. So now that it's virtual, there's not really a line. You make an
No
appointment.
line. No line. No, no, no. Yeah. But they're hiring all these people, and so if everybody wants to meet with one person, not everybody can meet with her. So
Right.
this is what you should do is go ask them how this all works here. So I'm not sure, but within 3 days of the event start date, receive a Zoom link. You can ask who you want, and the thing is, I don't know how if you are absolutely promised who's there. But I'm just
Okay,
putting
we
this
can
out
read it and
as
see.
this is not a bad thing to do if you're curious about if you are ready for it and interested in talking to some of these people that are otherwise impossible to talk to.
Oh
How
yeah,
do
I
you
think it's great practice. I mean, it's what we have our students do. So it's like we're students all over
It
again.
is.
So it's February? No, the registration closes
Let's see,
February, but it's February 11th.
yeah, and then they're held March 21st and the 22nd.
Oh,
how do
March.
you how do you know who to ask for?
So yeah, so that's what you want to go back to these people. These are the possible reviewers. So there's a lot of them, and then you would just look, you I suppose is they want to get your money first, and then they give you a list of your first choices, on 1 to 3. I don't know, but you might want to go look at these different people. I mean, if you're interested in being represented by uh, an art consultant and you're curious about what kind of works they might be interested in, and you can ask them all kinds of questions. I mean, it isn't just that they'll be talking about what they are interested, where they work, but it gives you an idea of, what they're interested in. So focus, emerging art, public art, design and furniture, curatorial assistant. Curatorial assistants go on to be curators.
Yes.
And so having a chance to talk to somebody like that, could really give you an idea of where she thinks you might fit or who you might
Yeah.
talk to. that's what you want to get from these folks. You know, you want to
Yeah.
see their take about your work. They'll name artists whose work your work reminds them of, which is whatever. Lisa Crossman, I know her, and she was the person who hired me to do a project at Fitchburg Art Museum when she was there. And I met her because I went to a baby shower for one of my husband's coworkers that I didn't want to go to. I was so mad that I had to go, that I sat across from her and I realized who she was. And at the time, she was the assistant curator there. And then I invited her to do a studio visit, and she said yes. And then a year or two later, she invited me to do this project. So, you know,
That's
we
great.
all
Yeah.
need to get to know some of these people. And you know, you develop confidence. That's what we all need to do, is develop confidence. And so this isn't a bad way to do this.
That's great. I think it sounds like so much fun.
So yeah, if you have the finances, and you know, like, all of this is, I mean, I do think this is kind of expensive. Can you get in touch with these people yourself? Yes, but you might not even know who. Christina Godfrey is also another person who does curation, uh,
Public
consulting.
art. Oh, and
Consulting,
consulting.
yeah. So she works with the Sunny Savage Gallery, and you know, they do a lot of that sort of stuff. So, you know, Betty, she's somebody who I think you should see your work.
Okay.
Christine Godfrey.
Yeah, I do. I'd love to, you know, I think it'd be really interesting to see what she thinks about your work. I think your work has a lot of sales potential. I really do. Anyway, just putting it out there.
No, it's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, and for everybody who's going to see this, this is kind of a,
You know, you see a lot of stuff. I mean, I look at stuff all the time and I don't know, you know, what's valuable and what isn't, you know? So it's very helpful.
yeah, you know, yeah. And I have to say, everybody on here is very good. I work with Barbara O'Brien. I have hired her as my personal mentor. So, and she's really helped me. She has written, you know, things for various shows that I've been in. So, you know, these kinds of people are people that we all ideally want to know. Other artists will only take you so far.
Right.
And then, you know, getting to know the arts professionals in the area is just so helpful, because they know a lot of a lot of other people, and you know, they can help you figure out where you belong too. So I did want to make sure that, you know, I'm just thinking whether I should just call Laura, because I just saw her today, and I'm like, are you coming? Hold on. Okay. All right, Betty, let's focus on you for a little while. Marianne, does that give you a little
Yeah,
bit of
gosh, I
help?
feel like I have such a great to-do list. That's excellent. Thank you.
That'll give you, yeah. And I think a lot of this is just sitting down and exploring on your own some of these calls and some of these places that are doing this, and just, yeah. I also wanted to talk about your artist statement. Let's come back around to that, and let's talk about Betty, because it's we're halfway through. How nice, you guys get both half an hour.
Yeah.
All right, so Marianne, I've been working with Betty for a couple of years in this art chat that I do, so I know her work very well. And I've been telling her to get it together here, so she's really doing it.
I'm trying.
All right, so let's go look at your website, Betty. Is that all right? Is that a good place to start?
Yes, that is. It's fine.
Oh, it's Laura, I bet. Yes. Uh-oh, Laura. Okay. Laura, hi. There you go. All right. So this is your beginning. It's
Yeah.
terrific.
Hmm.
Nice and clean. This is what we want to go for. And just in case you guys want to know, the unspoken language of websites is less is more, tiny and casual and elegantly, how should I say? It's like the fashion world, elegantly understated. Hi, Laura. Did you
Hi.
forget? Did you forget about us?
Of course. I was on the phone and I was like,
Oh
oh my
shit!
God. Oh shit.
I'm glad I
sorry.
texted you because I'm like, I
Me
just saw her
too.
today, and she said nothing about not coming.
I was coming. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay. So, we had the luxury of spending a lot more time with everybody. So, that's where we're kind of going into depth here. So Betty just, she's not done with her website, but she got it a little bit started, which is great.
Excellent.
So we were just talking about some of the things that we talked about. I was doing a kind of a concentrated effort with Laura today on her website. And
Betty, I like what you've done already.
see,
Thank you.
And I like that piece.
Yeah, I like it too.
understated,
Yeah.
but you could be even more understated here with your name. So
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you to don't do any fancy fonts.
What, Times New Roman?
Anything but fancy. Yeah. Just
Plain.
plain. You want to let your work speak for itself. And this is good. This is promising. You want a contact page and a CV page.
Right.
And
So-
I know you haven't gotten to this, but this is looking good.
Right.
See this? This is called understated classy.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
And this is a hard one to learn. And of course, over the last 20 years, websites have morphed. And now you want your website to look as much like going into a very expensive gallery as humanly possible.
Okay.
I know I'm being facetious here, but it is because I think it's a game.
It is. It all is.
So, if you want to play the game, it's just play it.
Get in the game if you want to play the game. Yeah.
Let your work speak for itself. So I was telling Laura how important it is to have professionals take your pictures, unless you can do it really well yourself. And we know what that means. That means everything well lit, and
So
this
that
looks
picture is
pretty darn
that
good.
picture is okay.
This looks really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Move, Rumi.
So what I was planning on doing, tell me if I'm wrong, I was planning on doing like 2 or 3 pages of work, and one being collage work, one being deconstructed deconstructed prints, and just separate things out like that. Is
So,
that
this is Laura and I have talked about the same
Ah.
website. Yeah. Do you want to, how do you want to organize your work?
Yeah.
And some people do it by medium. Some people do it by year. If you do it by medium, that's fine. You just want to stick to it. And so that there's a very clear difference between what you're showing in one medium and the other. In other words,
Right.
all the deconstructed prints really have that same look, and all the whatevers have that same look. So I would also tell you to feature your work, no further back than 5 years.
okay?
Because then, it becomes, you can just, if you want to show other work, you can have an archive, under work. You can have an archive section, or don't call it older work, because that kind of,
Yeah.
it's doesn't do it any good.
People
better.
want fresh, new.
Right, exactly. That's why I like to say archive. And a lot of
That's
people
a
just
good
use
word.
archive. I've seen
Yeah.
a lot of people do that, and that's fine.
That's a good word.
Yeah, because you might have work that you want to show that's older. If a work has been sold, I mean,
You can
it's
say that.
kind of, you can say that. You know, you could have one or two. I wouldn't do a whole lot. Like if you one or two kind of maybe that inspires somebody else to want to buy it, but I I don't know. Like I was saying to Laura too today, um, you know, again, to be classy, you don't want to push the sales part.
Right.
Like you want to put yourself, especially since we all aspire to be looked at by art curators who put us in a show with, you know,
Right.
fill in the blank. Your favorite famous artist. You know, so I would say, you know, don't overdo that.
So what about the about section?
And the about that should be where your artist statement goes.
So did you look at it?
Oh, thank you. This is good. Yeah, I did look at this. I forgot. I'm sorry, Betty.
It's okay.
Yeah. You can have, I mean, this isn't bad to have your exhibitions on here. You could have another page that's like your CV.
Okay.
And I think you have enough on there to do that. So,
Okay.
but it's fine right now. You know, the thing is about websites, they're a work in progress. You know,
Right.
there's no like, you know, oh my God, you made a big mistake to change it. It's really fine. It's really fine as it is now. And your artist statement is pretty good. I don't think it's bad at all. In my work on paper and wood board, I use paint, markers, and printmaking techniques to create overall textures and patterns that evoke hidden structures. Because when I close my eyes, I can sort of visualize what your work might look like. Laura, that's a good, you know, that's a good first sentence there. We were talking a little bit about artist statements today. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And I
My
feel
vibrant-
simpatico with her
Yeah.
and particularly that first piece. And it's the only piece I've seen.
Yeah. Yes, you are simpatico. Yes.
Right.
My vibrantly colored work evolves from a process of addition and subtraction. I collage complex patterns and add layers on top, often scraping back to reveal the hidden elements below. I'm interested in the unseen, the layers of reality that are hidden from our immediate view, yet form the foundation of everything we perceive. For example, what we can sense is only a small portion of what the universe actually consists of. My work explores what might be beyond our immediate perception. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. I think, you know, you hit all the bases. You're not using a lot of art speak, and you really want your statement to be understandable to someone who doesn't know much about art.
Right.
You know, so I think that's it's pretty good. And I also like that you are giving us a metaphor. We worked on this together in class, didn't we?
We did. We did.
Yeah. Okay. And good. Yes. And I think it's fine. It's very, very good. And these are also going to be morphing as you get more confidence, as you hear from more people about what they see in your work. You know, it'll develop, it'll grow, all of this stuff will develop. Yeah. But I think it's pretty darn good.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's from that point of view, yeah, yes, great. Okay. So
I think also it makes me curious. Like it gives me enough information, but not so much where I'm not curious. I'm like, well, so what does that actually look like when somebody is interested in those things? So that makes me
yeah, and I like that you started by using the materials that you know, these are materials that I use. Yeah.
I didn't say anything about printmaking though.
Yeah, that can come. You know, the thing too is that what I've run into is trying to make an artist statement that encompasses everything that we're talking about, everything that we do, and it's practically impossible to do that.
I've seen some that are pages and pages long.
Well, nobody's reading those.
What do you think about mixed media artistry? What?
That's fine. The thing that you have to do, though, is you have to find the thread that ties it together. There's
Yeah.
got to be, something that we're all deeply interested in. I mean, for me, you know, my work over 30 years has changed a lot. It's continually morphing. And I'm interested in things now that I wasn't interested in 15 years ago, 20 years ago. I'm still interested in movement and bold color, composition. I'm what would you would call an artist more interested in the formal aspects of art. Formal meaning form related, not
Yeah.
formal as in, a tuxedo. Formal meaning, and that's based in modernism,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
So that's how I was trained. I'm not surprised that that's where my work evolves from. My teachers were taught by teachers who learned at the Bauhaus or learned from Bauhaus technique,
Yeah.
which was simplified, basic, elements. I'm sure you did too, Marianne. Teachers who learned from the Bauhaus. Just about all the art schools in the United States are outgrowths of that, one way or another. I went to Rhode Island School of Design. Yes, all those teachers were taught by the Bauhaus School. So yeah, and that's where that's where I'm most comfortable. The meaning in my work, I sense what people tell me about it, which is that there's a sense of joy and movement, and I do try to entertain that. But I have to say, it's not what I think about when I do my work. I want to make something that I've never seen before. I want to smile and laugh when I do my work. So I tend to do work that makes me feel that way. But I can't tell you that I'm thinking about this big thing in my head when I'm doing my work. I don't.
Yeah.
Younger artists these days that are fresh out of art school, I think, have been trained very differently. Marianne, you'll have to tell me if this is true. They're taught, I think, to answer a question and explore an idea and then use any material that feels right to them to respond to that idea. So that's why I was saying nobody really cares about your media these days, Laura. Remember, I was saying because everybody's
Doing everything. Yeah.
that's how we're doing it. Yeah. Before
Yeah.
it used to be very like I went to grad school and I majored in painting. I
Mhm.
couldn't do printmaking because that was printmaking. I could only do
Right.
painting.
Hmm.
Good Lord. And now that's all out the door. And so
Right.
and I was just talking to Laura. Sorry, I keep mentioning you, Laura, but we did,
Well,
we were
we hit on
talking
these topics.
about
Yeah.
younger artists, how we have to befriend younger artists. It's younger people who will keep our work fresh, and we have to learn from them.
Yeah.
We have to adapt to what people are looking at now. Even if we were trained one way, too bad. Learn how to talk about your work in a different with a different lens.
Mm.
Yeah. Or suffer the consequences, which is you're not going to be looked at much, So yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not hard, to do this. It's just a matter of, learning, seeing other art that you like and trying to, reaching out to people who make that work and say, hi, I like your work. Do you like my work?
Mhm.
Together. Seriously, it is. It's about connecting in that way. Yeah. So that's a big one. We're getting into the heart of a lot of stuff tonight. It's that younger people do different things, have different training. It doesn't mean that they can't appreciate what we're doing. We can't appreciate where they're coming from. It's just we have to acknowledge that there is a difference, a different language. And I have really had to learn how to talk about my work in a different language because it isn't the language that I was trained in. And when I came out of art school, nobody wrote artist statements. We didn't you didn't have to talk about your work.
Exactly.
Lived or it died, and that was the work is what it is, and you make out what it is, Now you actually have to have a
Mhm.
way to talk about it. All right, okay, so we have 15 more minutes. Laura, what, what would you, yeah, let's focus a little bit on you. And then if we have time, I'm going to go back to Mary Ann's artist statement, talk a little bit about hers. Since
Mhm.
she wrote one, and we can talk a little bit about yours too. But let's see. So since do you have any, yeah, we spent a long time today. We gave
An
Mary
hour.
Ann Laura a real grill on her website, which was really about what we said, um, making it cleaner. I don't need to share. Yeah. And making sure that everything was very well photographed
Right.
and probably starting all over, clean slate. With what you want out of a website is to be easy to navigate, super easy to get to what we want.
Yeah. I put you through the paces on my website. You want to see my work? You are going to suffer through the consequences of all of these categories.
That's right. It's just too much. So clean it up. Make it so easy that
When I came up with that idea, I tell you, I thought it was brilliant.
no, it's not bad. It's just that it's hard. It's
It
hard.
is.
It's hard to
Yeah.
navigate. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I get you. Oh,
Okay.
Lordy, Lordy. What else did you want to say about me?
No, I was just asking you. So we, for the group, in terms of where we are tonight, we wanted to talk a bit about our artist statement.
Mhm.
And it's actually turned into an interesting conversation that's been more and more. Oh, yeah, Laura, when you watch this, you're going to see I did point people to this Cambridge Art Association. They have portfolio reviews with a lot of professional arts people in town and around Boston. And I'll send you the link. When you watch the video, you'll see.
Okay.
Okay, rather than taking more time out to it. But it's something that you can think about doing. They do it every year. So if you don't want to do it this year, you don't have to, and you never have to do it. But, if we were talking about getting our work in front of arts professionals, they will do kind of what I've been doing, but more so with their own eye view, and also from where they are, which is sometimes being part of museums or galleries or art consultants. So all these people you can get in touch with them yourself. It takes writing a nice email. Sometimes it really takes more than writing the email. It takes knowing somebody who knows somebody to, so before they'll even look at it. So you pay some money and you get to talk to somebody that you hopefully want to talk to, that you think will give you some thoughts about your work. So what I would say is take a look at it this week, and we can talk more next week about more specifics to see if you want to do this, if you think it's going to be worth the money.
How much is it?
Well, if you join Cambridge Art Association, you get $20 off each half-hour portfolio review, which is $70. If you don't join Cambridge Art Association, it's $90 for a half an hour review. It could be super, super helpful.
Mm-hmm.
It could be
Disastrous.
not helpful at all. Disastrous. So yeah, you want to be ready. You want to know what you want to get out of it. And I mean, I can help you with that.
Okay.
So you have time. And I've done it myself a couple times in past years because I found it very hard to know how to get a hold of some of these people.
Mm-hmm.
Get really tricky.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's go back and look at Mary Ann's artist statement, because I wanted to, this is a good one to just take a look at, because a lot of people will have the same kinds of questions. So All right, let me see if I can find you two. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. Mary Ann Agresti is a community artist who uses both talents to craft engaging spaces that layering narrative form and place.
That
Yeah, I know.
clearly I didn't finish the sentence.
That's fine. And we're just kind of we'll just go over this to give you some thoughts. All right. So I don't know that you need to call yourself anything. Let people figure it out themselves. But
Okay.
I could say, Marianne, I'm an artist who
Who
creates
crafts?
interactive environments that are part of a story.
Mm.
That's not a bad place to start.
Mhm.
Oh,
I like this sentence a lot, but I'm like, if you cut up 2 and 3D mapping is not a phrase that a lot of normal people will know.
Normal.
Like I know what it is, and a lot of people will know, but most people will not know if they're not artists or they're not architects. So, you might say through, you know, my work is generative in that it grows from the questions posed by the site or story.
I really like the words that are important to you. I'm just wondering about taking those and running them through our chat GBT.
ah, yes.
Have you ever done that?
I haven't
AI
yet.
is,
No.
Okay, chat GPT is your friend. It's
yes,
free.
it is.
Don't
Woo.
be afraid to use it.
But those words are so great that
They
I'm
are.
actually not afraid to use it. I just haven't.
I know.
Just
I don't mean afraid.
you
I don't
do
mean
it.
afraid. I just
this
mean
is your
it's funny
time.
because a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, AI!" No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it really helps for writing. Oh my God, I have used it a lot this year because I've been writing grant proposals, and it's streamlined. But you tell it what you want it to do. Write an
Mhm.
artist statement for me using the following words, and throw in all of it, and just see what they spit back out. Could be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you. I'll do that.
Mm.
And Laura too, you can
Yes,
everybody use it because
absolutely.
it really, really helps. You can even do this. You could take a photograph of one of your pieces,
And ask it to
ask
talk
it to
about it.
write an artist statement about your work.
Hmm.
I never thought of that.
I mean, honestly, we don't have to slave over this. You shouldn't feel like, you're killing yourself over it. It's not worth it because you just need something to put up on that website that helps people to understand a little bit about where you're coming from.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
even thought about just doing the word list. That's why I started writing it because I was getting all caught up in the
Yeah.
sentence structure. And I
Right,
thought,
right.
oh, honestly, the
That's a
thing,
good
these are
idea
the
too, though.
words. And I thought,
Yeah.
forget the sentences, just here you go.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly.
However you spit it out, that's what's
Yeah.
important.
That's
What's
right.
important
That's
to
right.
you?
So
So
yeah,
good.
I think let's leave it with that.
Yeah.
I mean, not to finish up today, but just say rather than going over it, try that because it is, it can really help you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a
And you
good
might be
idea.
really happy with it. And at the worst, it'll come out with something that you think you can work with.
Right.
Mhm.
Very
That's
good. I can't wait to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you guys what it did. You'll
It's
see.
really fun. It's super fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. So yeah, we understand about websites. We're doing, writing the artist statement. Um, I forgot what exactly comes next week, but I can I can go back to my notes and see, but is there any, so what do you guys want to hear about next? Like, what should we really focus on next? If you need the name of a good photographer, I have a couple I am happy to share with you. If you need some help figuring out which of all the works you're doing would be, helpful to put on the website, I can help you with that.
Yeah,
Those
I
are the
would, I
kinds of
wouldn't mind
things
help
I
with that.
need. Yeah, because I cannot edit myself.
Yeah.
I have so much work,
Yep.
and I think that I think everything's a masterpiece.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
It's amazing that look at this. This is
Yeah, a lot of people think that everything they do is terrible, so I've had that
well,
too.
I
So
have those days too, but when I'm doing it, I'm very satisfied with myself.
that's great. That is great, Laura. Stay there. Really, that's a wonderful place to be. But you
Well,
probably need somebody to help you edit out, and we all do.
Exactly.
God, So yeah, you don't want to overwhelm people on your website either. You want to make
Right.
it easy to
My
do.
work is overwhelming as it is because it's so detailed often
Yeah.
and busy. So I now appreciate why it deserves the white page.
Yes. And also, Marianne, I want to just show you my website because I think you might do what I've done here for your projects. My portfolio so this is where I'm now at, which is each one of these boxes is a show. And so it's been easier for me then I write about it here. So that's
Right.
been really helpful. And I think it's much easier than putting dates down because, oh my God, dates would be so confusing. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
If this is separating it out. And maybe for you too, each project you've done has its own box, and then you open the box, and then, here are more pictures
Yeah.
you've done, blah, 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 blah. What is it? What's it made of, et cetera, et cetera.
How important do you think? I mean, your work right now is very focused and has some cohesion to it. And I mean, I can't recreate everything I've done for it to be that way. But do you think from a potential, client or someone who hires you point of view that I need some help, not right now, but just like understanding how to say, I know everything looks so different, but that doesn't mean I don't have like a common thing, right? Because it looks
Right.
really,
Well, here's the thing,
Right.
your commonality is your site-specific pieces. And I think there are a lot of artists, like I said, you have a lot of company. There are
Yeah, yeah.
artists, Mike, I just thought of his name. I was going to look him up today. Mazzotti.
Yes. I went to a lecture of his as well. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Go
Yeah.
to his website, Mark Mazzotti.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, so we're talking about site-specific pieces, Laura, and how things are going to look different. They're going to look different because every piece you've done for a different site requires something different.
Yeah.
And he's a perfect example of that. So I would look at his website and just see how
Yeah.
he's doing things. Yeah, no, you don't have to worry about that. Your interest is in creating, a wonderful space for people to learn about where they are, et cetera, whatever it is.
Actually, it's also fascinating, like to look at Maya Lin's website.
Yeah, Myelin too.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's she just has no words.
Oh,
She has a photo of, just like you do, a grid
Yeah.
in a photo. You click on it and it just shows more photos, and that's it. I think her point is, they hired me to do this work. They hired me again to do something else later. It must have gone well. Isn't it great? I mean, there's just like, there's like, she has no words.
Mm.
And that appealed to me a lot.
go for it.
Wow.
You don't really
I
need
love
words
that.
either.
No
You don't need
words. Ah,
Yeah.
You don't, and you know
Adria?
what? You guys don't really, that's why I say don't stress about your artist statement. If it just can be a little something to people about who you are, you know, I don't know if anybody looked at the thing that I sent. I sent a link last week to another site that was about writing artist statements, and it's, you know, it's from a high-end, very professional artist journal. I think it's from the UK.
Mm.
And what they said was, you know, the less said, the better, basically.
Yeah.
Silence
Yeah.
is golden.
Yeah, you know, again, if you have to ask how much it is, you probably can't afford it. You know,
Mm.
that mentality, and you know, it figures that the Americans are the ones that use the artist statement. We have to just chat about everything.
Speaking of which, I need to check out.
Yeah.
But
I need
thank
to
you
go
very
too.
much. Yeah.
I need to go too, and
Yeah.
I have one. I would like some help with picking out what might be.
Why don't you guys go?
Right.
If you need to go ahead. Okay,
I'm
Good
gonna-
night. Thank
I'm
you.
gonna go too.
we'll talk. Yeah,
And also about size of work.
yeah,
We can talk about that another time, but that's one of my
yeah,
questions.
sure. Like, so we could do a session, Betty, if you wanted to, like a session in person if you wanted me to, or we can, you know, do
Okay.
like you send me stuff and I can just do a quick thing. I don't mind, you know. It depends on what you will find is most helpful.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, happy to. Enjoy the rest of your trip.
Thank you.